All right, right now I have Nick Urso, the head coach of Jackson's MMA in Albuquerque, New Mexico, joining me. Nick, how are you?
Good. How you doing, bud?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk to you. I know you just got back from the other side of the world in Abu Dhabi, cornering Ray Borg for that fight. He got an impressive win over Jesse Arnett, a very tough guy, man. What was that whole experience like heading over to, I guess, what used to be Fight Island?
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. Interesting is a good word for it. I think it would probably have been a different experience if it wasn't for COVID. We kind of went into it a little blind, not knowing what the dynamic over there was going to be. But we soon found out that we were going to be quarantined pretty much the whole time. So over in Dubai, it's open, but Abu Dhabi is not. So as soon as we crossed over the border, we had to go to like border patrol in the middle of the night and do a COVID test. I had to sign some paperwork saying that I was going to wear a tracking device for 2 weeks. I found out through the promotion that they've got some special licensing through the government, I guess, to where we wouldn't have to do that as long as we essentially locked ourselves down and got COVID tested every day. So,
Wow.
yeah, it was interesting.
And obviously the result went the way that you guys wanted to, getting your hand raised. Ray Borg, former title challenger here. What is his future? What do you feel like he can string together here and do here in the next year or two?
Yeah, I feel like Ray is. I know Ray is one of the best in the world. I feel like he still hasn't been able to show the growth and development of his skills since, I guess, I'd say the last year has been a real curve for him. He's really become a different person in the gym, outside of the gym. His skills are through the freaking roof. Super high level competitor, and honestly, I think they could throw him in the UFC right now, and he can compete for the title in 2 different weight classes. Obviously, I'm biased, but I feel that way, honestly.
Regardless of who it is that I talk to, it seems like everyone's goal is to be in the UFC, to get to the UFC, or if they get cut, to make it back there. I mean, obviously, that's like the pinnacle of the sport, the top promotion in the world. But I don't want you to speak for Ray, but as far as the guys that you talk to that you're coaching, is that their mindset as well? Or would they be happy winning a Bellator championship or, winning over at UAE Warriors? Is that something that, has been discussed?
Well, at the end of the day, it's a job for everyone that competes, right? And the best gig you can get is with the UFC. Now, that doesn't mean there's not other jobs that you can fulfill that role. But I think, without speaking for everybody, I would think most of my athletes and my peers want to be obviously fighting for a UFC title. Now, that doesn't mean that a Bellator title doesn't feel freaking great as well, or UAE. There's some good promotions with a lot of high level talent, but there's no secret that the UFC is the top of the food chain, and I think if you're a competitor, that's where you want to be.
So what is next for Ray? Does he have a contractual obligation to UAE, or is he a free agent? Is he able to maybe pick and choose where he wants to go?
Yeah, again, so I can't speak for Ray. I'm obviously not his manager. But from my perspective, I think he's kind of just waiting to see what the best option is. He's got a great manager in Ali. I think Ali's got his best interest, and I think he knows the lay of the land probably better than we do. So I think he's gonna have some stuff pop up here. I think he's gonna be pretty active, and I foresee him being in the UFC. I mean, he's so young. Foresee him in the UFC. I think he'll make a run. I think it's going to be the beginning of the second part of his career. And really, the guy can do whatever he wants. He's so talented. He works hard. He's got a lot of skills, and he's got a lot of heart, So he's sorted some things out outside of the gym, outside of the cage. And as a lot of us know, that's the most important thing, especially if you already have it kind of figured out in the cage. If you can figure things out outside of the cage and then balance it with your skill set, the sky's the limit. And I think he's in a place now where he really can do whatever he wants. The opportunities will present themselves, and I think he's going to seize them. And he fought a really tough dude. Jesse Arnett is a really tough dude. He made Ray earn that fight. Ray was able to show some new layers to his skills. He fought both stances. He was kicking. Obviously, he's always a dangerous dude when he gets you down, and when he wants to take somebody down, he gets him down. So Jesse wasn't trying to give anything to him, and he earned that fight. And I think that was a high-level fight. I think it was a UFC caliber fight, and it puts him right back in the win column. He's ready to do whatever, and I'm excited to see where he goes here.
So I've interviewed Jesse before. Very true, a high-level guy. What was your specific game plan going into that fight, and overall, what were some of the adjustments in fight that you wanted Ray to make?
So I like these guys to open their skills, not for necessary each opponent, but develop their skills to where they can adjust on the fly. Or if we set up a specific game plan, they don't have to learn all these new movements and footwork and this, that, and the other. So for Ray, we've just been opening up his game, trying to get him less boxing oriented, more mixed martial arts, a lot of footwork, a lot of stance changes, using his kicks and his punches to set up his takedown and not just be a boxer wrestler, as most people would probably classify him as. So a lot of in and out movement, a lot of kicks, use his kicks to set up his punches and, get to the legs and take him down and punish him when he does, find a submission if it's there. And he stringed together a lot of those skills to where I was happy with it. There's still definitely room for growth. Win, lose, or draw, there always is. And we're just back adjusting and building.
A unanimous decision victory. That is exactly what you guys wanted, a dominant victory at that over a tough opponent. By the time you guys were done and you're ready to head back to the States, how ready were you? I mean, how long were you over there? And I've heard it's just brutal hot.
Yeah, it was like a combination of Vegas and Florida. So it was hotter than heck. It was like 110 degrees, but it was humid too. So it was really hot. So we were kind of confused. I think when we got our itinerary, we didn't realize we were going ahead or behind. We kind of didn't look at the calendar as close as we should have, and we realized we were going to be there a full day after the fight before we were able to leave. So we were scrambling like right after the fight, trying to figure out how we can get the heck out of there the next day. Luckily, we were able to do that, and there's no place like home,
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, congratulations on this successful business trip over there to Abu Dhabi. You're also head coaching Lando Vannata, groovy Lando. I've always been a big fan of his ever since do his thing in there against Tony Ferguson. Geez, that was a while ago now. He just came off a split decision victory over Mike Grundy. Run me through that fight. Were you pleased with what he did, or did you feel like maybe he could have executed a little bit better and get a finish or maybe a UD win?
I feel like I'm super happy with the growth. I was happy with that win. I thought it was a great win. I think Mike Grundy is really underrated. I think he's a really tough dude, and he really was well prepared. Landon stopped like 17 takedowns. He didn't take any damage. And I think most important for Landon, he's got all the tools in the world, but sometimes he just blacks out and just wants to be in these wars and kind of gets away from his strategy, his skill, and his game plan. And he was really calculated. He was consistent. He stuck to the game plan, and I thought he looked great. And again, there's always stuff to take away from the wins or losses. And we did that, and we're continuing to build. And between the two of those guys, they're the top of the food chain, and they're going to show that here soon.
So what is next for Vannata? Does he have his next fight lined up, or is that going to be around the corner? Can you enlighten us a little bit on that situation?
Yeah, he doesn't have anything scheduled just yet. He's still dealing with, he's been in a lot of fights, been training very hard at a high level, and his body's a little bit banged up. Nothing crazy, but we're just making sure we don't rush anything. We don't want him going in there with any issues where he can't be his full self. And again, he's another young guy, so we're just waiting to see what the UFC and his manager kind of put together, and we'll be ready for that. Him and Ray are both in the gym every day. They both teach here as well. So they're ready for whatever, and I'm excited to just kind of be a part of it.
Very good. Well, you're very well known for your professional career. You were 10-4 as a professional mixed martial artist. The last time we saw you was at Dana White's Contender Series in 2017. So it's been a little while. And now here you are, head coach here at the gym. Can you just kind of explain your transition from fighter to coach and, what your goals are here moving forward?
Right. Yeah. So I feel like during my own career, I was kind of preparing myself to be a coach without realizing I was doing that. So I've always been super motivated to find the best coaches I could. And I was blessed to have a lot of really high level coaches and all different facets of the sport. And instead of just learning from them, I was learning how they were teaching as well to kind of teach myself because I was traveling a lot. So I would figure out how they were teaching people and kind of teach myself and then pass on the knowledge to the people around me. And my dad was a coach. I was kind of born into it. So I think it's in the blood as well. And I started working with Greg. He was opening gyms around the country, and I was kind of his right-hand man, helping people get certified to be able to teach our curriculum. So that's kind of where it started, and I started really enjoying. It was really fulfilling to teach people all the stuff that I'd been busting my butt to learn. Kind of one person can give you a bunch of information. You don't have to take the path I took. You can kind of just one person has a lot of information. I was working with Greg, essentially certifying instructors to be able to teach our curriculum, and I started realizing how much I enjoyed coaching. I went up to Chicago to train with Mike Valley. I helped him get Marina Moroz prepared for a fight, and that was my first, I guess, the first time I was really coaching full-fledged with somebody that was going to be my student, I guess, and I really enjoyed it.
Greg Jackson and Mike Winklejohn are two of the most respected coaches in the game. Can you just kind of talk a little bit about, if there's one thing that stands out over anything else that you took from being side by side with them, learning from them over the years?
Yeah, so obviously both super high-level coaches, but it started even before that. My dad was my first coach, super good coach. I found some really good coaches in Tampa. I was training with high-level Muay Thai fighters, high-level Muay Thai instructors, high-level jiu-jitsu guys, and then I kind of put it all together and found the best MMA gym I could. And I feel like just putting the sport together as a whole is something I learned from Greg. Being patient, calculated, kind of looking at the sport from a different lens and a little bit deeper aspect of it. He really opened my mind. Greg really opened my mind to being a little bit more intelligent, more calculated, less of a fight, more strategy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And obviously, as I mentioned before, you're known for your fighting career. Can people expect to see you compete and maybe work towards getting back towards Contender Series or maybe in the UFC one day?
It's hard to say. I feel like I have my business hat on, my coaching hat on. I'm really fulfilled with it. I feel like if I wasn't doing this, I'd probably be competing. But as of now, I'm super fulfilled, and I'm not like looking for a purpose. And I feel like with fighting, that was my purpose. And I'm a very purpose-driven individual. And as of right now, I'm real happy with what I'm doing. But it's hard to say. My skills have probably grown from not competing and not training from coaching. And I look at some of these guys that are fighting right now, and I feel like I can get off the couch and whip their ass, to be honest with you. I mean, I know I can. So the skill's still there. I don't know if necessarily the desire was there like it once was. But if I got a phone call to do something that seemed appealing to me, I'm the same dog I always was. So, it's always going to be in me. I'll be 50 years old, not ready to say I'm not interested in the fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt. No, I know you're a big dog lover. What do you like outside of mixed martial arts? Like, what kind of hobbies do you have where you can kind of take your mind off of this crazy game?
Yes, I'm really family oriented. I like hanging out with my friends. I'm a pretty simple guy. I just like kicking back, laying low, hanging out with the dog. We've been going to the lake a little bit lately, kicking on the boat. I'm pretty simple. I just laid back. I'm getting older, so all the high adrenaline stuff doesn't do it as much as it used to. But I did just jump off a 40-foot cliff over the weekend. So yeah, I just like hustling, to be honest. So when I'm not hustling, I'm pretty chill.
Okay, all right. What was the 40-foot cliff thing like? How did that transpire?
Yeah, so I hang out with a lot of these guys that I coach, and they're all significantly younger than me. So I'm hanging out with 20-year-olds, 23-year-olds. Some teenagers are there, and we're out in a boat, and there's a big cliff, and they're jumping off it, and they say, "Hey, let's jump off." And I said, "Fuck it, let's do it."
Okay, good enough. I'm sure you're going to be watching the big event this Saturday, UFC 264.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Man, Conor, Dustin, who wins the trilogy?
I keep going back and forth. I got a soft spot for Conor. He's definitely one of my favorites to watch. I never root against him. I'm definitely rooting for Conor. I feel like my heart's saying Conor, but my brain's saying Poirier. If I had to probably bet my life, I'd probably take the safe route and go with Dustin. But part of me thinks Conor's going to pull it off. It's hard to say. I don't know. It's a freaking toss-up. What about you? Who do you got?
So this is the way that I look at it. If it ends early, Conor can finish him in the first or second round. If it gets out of the second round, I'm going Dustin all day because Conor's shown us time and time again that his cardio isn't where it needs to be in 5-round fights. He does nosedive. So I will go with Dustin if it gets out of the second round, but we both know how Conor's power is. If he clips you, he can put you away. That's going to be interesting to see what happens.
I just want to see a good fight. Unless I'm like super invested, or if it's one of my teammates. I don't really like quick knockouts. I don't like somebody getting finished really early. I like watching a high-level fight that's going to go for a few rounds, and ultimately that's what I want to see.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. Well, listen, Nick, it was a pleasure interviewing you here. It's been far too long since I've spoken with you. Next time you have Vannata or Ray Borg that have a fight, I'd love to bring you back and really analyze the matchup and do that if you have the time. But before I do let you go, I want to give you the floor. Tell people where to follow you on social media.
Yeah, so I don't care about you following me, but come check out the gym. It's a little confusing. There's 2 Jacksons in Albuquerque, but we're the Acoma location. So if you just search Jackson's MMA Acoma on Facebook or Instagram, you'll find us pretty quick. Outside of that, yeah, I got a lot of up and comers. Scope the gym out, watch some of these younger guys start making waves, and it's exciting to build these guys from the ground up. And I think we're going to be here for a while, and I'm excited for it. So I appreciate you giving me some time and a little platform. It's been a while, but good to talk to you.